Welcome to Quack&Co, the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed, and today we're talking about Earth from Inside Up Games. This is a 1 to 5 player, 45 to 60 minute board game that functions as a solo, cooperative, or my favorite way to play, competitive tableau building game. Throughout the course of Earth, you're going to be drawing up piles of cards, taking actions that have simultaneous play, and utilizing those cards to build out your tableau, compost them for endgame victory points or in-game effects, and more and most importantly, spend some of those for immediate actions that you could take at any point throughout your course of play to give you powerful, world-changing abilities. The main feature of Earth is going to be this combination of simultaneous play with tableau building and sort of production escalation. You are doing your very best to establish a grid over here, a 4x4 landscape that meet your needs when it comes to the island, the climate, and the ecosystem you've drafted, which will be your objective, your victory point scoring, that create nice habitats for the various creatures that want to live there, another variable way to score victory points, and of course, that start escalating production, in the same way that playing down cards into a tableau like Wingspan starts escalating every single round. You play down a card, take an action, and then take the corresponding series of colored actions available. For instance, if I go up here to blue, I would then go through my grid from top to bottom, left to right, taking both the blue and the multicolored action, gaining resources, building growth, and again, drawing up, composting, and playing cards. There is a lot happening in Earth, and the best way I can describe it is a mid-weight point salad style game where everything you do can be maximized, can be efficient and precise, but the best part of Earth is going to be featured and playing and really having fun with every single card you draw. Multiple times throughout the play experience, we drop a card and share it with our neighbor or encourage someone to read it because it added something to the flavor of the game. Along with that, there's over a couple thousand combinations of different types of objectives and scoring conditions you could earn, and there is a stack of cards that you're going through that each have their own traits, abilities, and, well, parameters that you should be focusing on. I mean, if I just draw up a single card, I can walk you through what they have on them. You have the cost in order to play it, the points that card will earn, the type and title of the card. Blackthorn, for instance, here, which is a berry bush. Now, black, being a keyword, is italicized because there might be cards that score according to the color, and thorn is just part of the description. This is played in a wet or damp environment. It also grows in a snowy or arid region. It has 2 growth markers on it, and when you take it, you get a red action that's going to produce 2 earth and allow you to compost 1 card from your hand. Along with that, we have a beautiful photo and a little bit of flavor text that states, used in a variety of ways from the cattle-proof hedges to links, walking sticks, and food items. So this single card is full of text, scoring conditions, and other elements that you need to be paying attention to that happen mid-game, happen late game, happen throughout the course of play. And every card in this deck is thoroughly and pointedly thought out and built to allow you to build out your tableau. Now, one of the big criticisms that some people have around Earth is that it is a little freeform, a little open-ended. You can be precise, but the rulebook itself encourages you to play and enjoy, to pull up a pile of cards, draft 4, pull up 9, compost 6, and just cycle them through, looking for keywords or optimizing your play with the more experience that you have. And I find that's the thing that for me shines the brightest here with this game. The amount of fun stuff there is to do, combined with the concept of simultaneous play. So let's talk about that, because in 40 minutes of playing this game, in average playtime, I am not distracted once. I'm focused entirely on what I'm producing, what cards I've drawn up, what action I'm taking next, what my neighbor just did, and so on and so forth. It is 40 to 60 minutes of straight engaged gameplay, which is one of the things that I look for in especially a point-generating game. So up on this top row here, you're going to be selecting the actions you're taking. You could play and draw cards, you could gain earth and compost, which is victory points at the end of the game, you could add growth meters and gain a little bit more earth, or you could draw 4 cards, which is a pile of them, and add instead of shrubbery, you can actually add growth or plants. So there's two different types of items that you're adding on. You have these tall, stacked plants for larger trees or big hedges and bushes, and then you have your low-lying growth for shrubbery, seedlings, and every animal and creature needs different types of environment, both in order to score points, but also in order to meet the needs that they have to live in your habitat, or, again, score you points. Now, when you take any one of these actions, there's a top supplemental action similar to, think about Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition, or Roll or Race for the Galaxy, where everything you do gives everyone else the opportunity to do something as well. Not always as strong, but you don't always need it to be as strong. And they're modified versions of the main action. Again, drawing cards, gaining earth, getting plants, or getting growth markers. Now, these will go down here onto your main board. These are the resources that you use, and so every time someone takes an action, you'll get 2 supplemental, you'll get a main action, and then you will also trigger your entire tableau. So starting out in the game, you'll have 1 card in your feature, or maybe just your island or your climate. And that'll give you a bonus action for yellow, for instance, on the board in front of me. But as you get to late game, like we have set up in front of us here, you'll start escalating to the point where, and you'll know the cards that you've already done, you'll trigger yellow, gaining this card, and 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 so on, and so on, and so on, until you're generating a pile, and then spending that pile to play an even more powerful card, an even more important card, and then once again, reoccurring through the cycle. Now, at the end of the game, you'll end up calculating a ton of points. You'll have points from every card you play. You'll have points from every card you compost. You'll have points from your personal scoring objectives, the objectives you met during the course of the game for the different animals. For instance, earthworms win a very deciduous soil, so a compost-rich soil, meaning you need 15 or more compost cards, and the first person to get there wins. Or hummingbirds score for colored plants in your ecosystem because they, of course, want to feed on bright, vibrant flowers. You'll also have climate or what are these called? Ecosystem cards. It'll score you based on the type of environment that you've built. For instance, over here with this cloud forest, you're looking for as many mushrooms as possible. You'll score for every piece of growth marker you have on your board, including shrubbery and large trees, some escalating into higher points if you completed the entire tree or ecosystem. And you'll score for various different items that you put down on your board. For instance, the giant forest rewards me additional points for every tree I have above 4 blocks tall. So I didn't do too well here, but if I'd played it over in my neighbor's objective zone, he would have scored very well. On top of that, you have instant actions and cards that are so rich and deep in the theme of this game that everything feels like it was thought of. For instance, if I played an instant action over here called Heat Wave, I'd lose 3 points at the end of the game, I'd spend 3 shrubbery, but I'd gain 6 growth tokens, which are your larger trees, because in a heat wave, for instance, all the shrubbery dries up and dies because it can't support itself, but the large billowing trees, rich from the deep roots and the sun, will grow even taller. Or a landslide that's going to lose me 4 dirt resources, but gain me a pile of cards and allow me to compost a whole set of them. It's a nice give and take. So, final thoughts on Earth, or the last thing you should pay attention to. If you like simultaneous play, if you enjoy open-ended games with a lot of things to do and fun moments throughout them, this is a fantastic game. That being said, if you don't like a little bit of free-form play where things feel loose and you won't really know every preferred action you can take, this might not be tight enough for it to hit your table. For me, it's absolutely lovely. We have more content over on Quackalope, so make sure you swing over there and check it out. Whatever the case, though, that's my time, and I'll see you next time.